I can still hear her voice, that tone sweetened with the kind of confidence only inherited money can buy. "Here's a hoodie and a $50 gift card," she said, sliding the cheap fabric across the conference table like she was tossing leftovers to a stray. Then came that smile, a condescending little curve of her mouth. "You're terminated, effective immediately." Her father, the CEO, sat beside her, silent. No eye contact, no explanation. Just the faint hum of the AC and the sound of my career dissolving in real time. My $100,000 bonus? Gone. My shares? Frozen. And all I got was a hoodie. Back then, I believed in the company. Believed in asterisk them. Asterisk. When I joined, the startup was nothing more than a name on a slide deck in a garage that smelled like burnt coffee and ambition. I built the product architecture from scratch. Lines of code, long nights, weekends that melted into months. I gave it everything because I thought we were building something asterisk together. Asterisk, her father was the visionary. She was the face, and I was the machine behind both. She used to bring me coffee during late-night sprints, said she admired how my brain worked, how I never cracked under pressure. I mistook that for respect. The truth? She was studying me, learning how I thought, preparing to take what she needed and cut me loose the moment I stopped being convenient. The first sign came months before the firing. Investor decks started changing, my slides rewritten, my name quietly vanishing from product credits. Meetings shifted without invites. When I asked, she smiled. "We're just streamlining communication." I knew what that meant. You're being erased. The day before the Series B filings, I noticed something in the shared drive. A new folder labeled Asterisk Founding Narrative Final. I wasn't supposed to see it, but I did. They'd rewritten history. According to that document, the CEO's daughter had conceived, designed, and led the entire platform. Me? I was listed under Asterisk Technical Support. That's when the switch flipped. The emotional part of me died that night. I didn't rage, didn't argue, didn't even warn them. I just started collecting. Every email, every file version, every contract draft, including the one where her father forgot to update the founder equity clause before signing. A clause that, on paper, still named me as co-owner of the core IP, a silent 22% they never bothered to clear. Their arrogance became my weapon. They fired me 2 weeks later. "Restructuring," she said, smirking like it was a game. When she tossed that hoodie across the table, she thought it was the end. She didn't realize it was just a comma. I disappeared quietly. No social posts, no threats, no noise. Behind the silence, I built something new. I registered a holding company in Delaware under a different name. Transferred the IP rights from that clause into it, legally, cleanly, quietly. Then I waited. Series B was coming. I knew how those investors worked. They'd demand full IP ownership during due diligence. And when they checked the filings, the missing key would surface. A founder key, as we called it. The technical signature that authenticated the system. Without it, the entire platform couldn't scale. And I was the only one who had it. The day of the Series B meeting, I walked into the lobby, not as a guest, but as a ghost. I'd been erased from the company calendar, but my access card still worked. Another oversight. Through the glass wall, I watched them perform. The CEO in his custom suit, his daughter polished and confident, selling Asterisk, my Asterisk system, to men who measured potential in millions. Halfway through, the lead investor paused. He was older, sharp, the kind of man who could smell deceit in a sentence. He held a folder. The termination file they'd sent as part of the disclosure packet. My name was on it. He flipped through the pages, his brow tightening. Then he looked up. "Who's this?" he asked. The room went silent. The CEO stammered. "Former contractor, no longer with us." The investor leaned back. "Funny," he said, "because according to Delaware filings, he still owns the core IP through a holding entity." The color drained from their faces. He slid the file back across the table and, with calm precision, said, "Congratulations. You just lost your company." The silence that followed was the kind you could drown in. I didn't stay to watch the collapse. Didn't need to. By the end of the week, investors had pulled out. Acquisition talks froze. Her smug smile vanished from the company site. 2 days later, I got an email from her. "Asterisk, we need to talk." I didn't reply. I forwarded it to the legal team handling the IP buyback. The price I set, $4.2 million. Non-negotiable. They paid. It's strange how justice feels. It's not loud. It doesn't come with applause or fireworks. It's quiet, deliberate, like closing a door and finally hearing the lock click. The hoodie still hangs in my closet, creased, untouched. A reminder of what happens when you underestimate silence. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, check your paperwork. And sometimes when I see that hoodie, I almost hear her voice again. That same mockery, that false sweetness. But now when it echoes, I smile. Because I know how the story ended. She handed me a hoodie. I handed her a bill. And in the end, I kept the company's soul. She kept the shell.